He's playing with your sleeve.
Ryan, turn the music off.
I hope so.
Just hit the red button.
Hit the red button.
The red button. But it turns red after you hit it. The one that says power on it. There you go.
Alright. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight.
Yeah, they're fine.
But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
Medical condition.
We can check that right now.
But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos.
Hate you.
Staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath.
They're hanging their stockings.
He snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming.
I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming.
Doofenshmirtz, huh?
Never gonna get through this if we don't do it.
For tomorrow he knew all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys. And then, oh the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise.
That's what he says.
And the Who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. Feast, feast. Trying to get to feast.
And they get gas.
They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast.
Available at Walmart.
Which is something that Grinch couldn't stand in the least.
I don't like it.
And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing.
Is that what they sound like? I want to stop this.
And the more the Grinch thought of this Christmas sing,
It's right in front of you. Just read it.
the more the Grinch thought,
I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?
that he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
Sound like Ryan Brock. I know just what to do.
The Grinch laughed, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat.
Got it from the costume shop.
And he chuckled and clucked.
What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. Am I saying it right? Nick. It's such a weird name. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around. But since reindeer are scarce, there's none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No. The Grinch simply said,
I can't find a reindeer. I'll make one instead with my reindeer-inator.
Stay to the script.
he Trick's called Max.
It's a new version.
So he called his dog Max, then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said,
Get up! Get up! Get up! There's no wire. Get up! Get up! That's so weird. Just go!
and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square,
This is stop number 1.
the old Grinchy claws hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, another tight pinch.
What are you trying to say?
Does it seem any look bad? That's what I'm saying.
But if Santa could do it, well, then so could the Grinch. He got stunk only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row.
These stockings
He grinned.
are the first things to go. Not those stockings over there. These stockings. I don't know. I don't like these stockings.
Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant, around the whole room, and he took every present.
It's like Martha.
I don't work for her anymore.
Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums.
Nothing that we got here at the gift exchange.
And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimney.
That's a word.
Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash.
Which is no longer illegal.
Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee.
And now,
Grinned.
come on, Mike, stick to the script. I will stuff up the tree.
Grinned the Grinch.
Amateurs.
Grinned the Grinch. Okay.
All right, they said it.
And the Grinch grabbed a tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like a coo of the dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who. Little Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who had got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said,
Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little tot,
The fake Santa Claus lied.
there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and I'll bring it back here, or what have you. Whichever works for you, kid.
And his bib fooled the child, then he patted her head. And he got her a drink and sent her to bed. Okay. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. And the last thing he took was the log for the fire.
I got that off.
Then he went up the chimney himself. The old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that even was too small for a mouse.
Good enough for a Ritz. Disney joke, sorry.
Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses.
Pieces?